What if I told you that we can offset all Indian car emissions by buying one piece of clothing a year? Sound counterintuitive? Let me explain. 10 years ago, I left my job in Europe and moved across the world to the slums of Mumbai because I needed purpose. Working in technology was just not cutting it for me anymore. As a result of my journey, here I am asking you to join a new global movement, one that can change the fate of our planet. We all buy clothes and most of us like to look good. Nothing wrong with that, but are we looking good at the cost of our planet? How do we lower our cognitive dissonance, the gap between what we believe in and what we actually do? Well, I want to share a powerful ancient technique that can change how we consume fashion. Fashion's dirty secret, which has been out for some time now, is that it's a highly polluting industry that in many cases exploits workers in the global south. The fashion industry accounts for about 10% of global carbon emissions and nearly 20% of wastewater. We know that a polyester t-shirt lives on for up to 200 years in landfill. So the t-shirt you threw out last year will outlive your great-grandchildren. That's a crazy thought, isn't it? A harmless little t-shirt. Because there is so much clothing already out in the world, we can massively reduce carbon emission by upcycling textile products that already exist. Which takes me to India and to my business. As a foreign entrepreneur working here, one thing that struck me is that India is a place where nothing gets thrown away. Everything gets reused. Another thing that caught my eye here is the icon of Indian women, the sari. I was really taken by those 5 meters of gorgeous fabric. But again, what happens to the billions of existing saris when they reach their end of life? So we set up I Was a Sari, a social business that upcycles pre-loved Indian saris into contemporary accessories and clothing. And we started taking the sari global. So women and men all over the world are now dressed in saris. Saris in different avatars, reimagined as loungewear, shoes, and bags. So what is upcycling? Upcycling can be compared to the Japanese technique of wabi-sabi, turning something discarded into something valuable and desirable. So by reimagining the sari as a comfortable pyjama or as a beautiful clutch bag, the sari moves across the world to a new owner and begins a new life. And how can upcycling help climate change? Upcycling replaces the need to produce new fabric by using textile products that already exist. So we save the water and land used for growing materials like cotton, and we save oil and water used for making synthetic fibers like polyester. All this means a huge reduction in our carbon emissions. Climate change impacts vulnerable people the most, especially women. We see this every day in Mumbai, a city which is becoming warmer and facing extreme and unpredictable rainfall. You see, at I Was a Sari, we employ women from Mumbai slums to make our products. And what's beautiful is that these women get upcycled themselves as they transform their lives in so many ways. They start off as unskilled and unemployed and become talented artisans, the designers of their own future. I actually measure professional progress of our artisans by whether they can look me in the eye. In my experience, that is the most accurate measure of their self-confidence growth. This is very different to most KPIs of the fast fashion industry. So now, when you buy your next shirt, weigh up your choices. You could buy a regular shirt made of virgin cotton that used 2,700 liters of water and more, or you could buy a shirt that was upcycled, stopping a product going into landfill and significantly reducing pollution of air and water. So, which shirt are you going to choose? Are you going to take the red or the blue pill? Whichever you choose will help send our world down that path. One path leads us towards worsening climate change. But if you choose the other, you can be part of a revolution that transforms the fashion industry as we know it. Our Sari is just one example, but with your help, upcycling can turn into a global movement beyond fashion. I was a smartphone, I was a car. Look around at what you consider waste and reimagine it. Instead, see it as what it could become. Its potential to be something else, something the world needs. If every consumer on the planet buys just one upcycled item a year, we would cut fashion carbon emission by roughly 7%, which is equivalent to the gas emissions of all the cars in India. So don't reinvent the wheel. Instead, reimagine and reuse it.